Okay, so it is the winter of 1988 in Tehran. That's the capital of Iran. And I'm 11 years old, fast asleep in the room I share with my little sisters, when suddenly a red alert pierces the quiet night. It's really loud and shrill and continuous. It's designed to wake people up and warn them to seek shelter immediately. Now, to me and my family, that sound is synonymous with fear and anxiety. It means imminent missile strikes. Just before impact, there's this sort of hissing sound as the missile moves through the air, and it gets louder as it gets closer. And sometimes we'd have about a minute before the hissing sound increases in intensity. So that's just enough time to make it to a door frame and huddle away from the windows. But other times, we might have as much as 4 or 5 minutes, and we can make it all the way to the basement of our 6-unit apartment building for greater safety. So my parents, now remember, they also are shocked awake in the middle of the night with a screeching sound. They would have to decide in a matter of seconds, based on the pitch of the sound, which way we'd go, door frame or basement. Right? That night we decide to try to make it to the basement, and we make it just in time for that really brief beat of silence before the missile's impact. But even though we made it to the basement, the explosions are so loud, they're deafening, windows shattered, the building shakes. This doesn't happen every time. It means a missile hit somewhere nearby, and we're feeling the shock waves. So there's this faint scent of burning debris kind of seeping in, but totally overwhelmed by the sweaty anxiety of all the people huddled together in this basement, the neighbors and the families. Here's the incredible part. Through it all, through the loud noises, the explosive impact, my parents are calm. They're composed. They are fast. They make quick decisions, somehow always in unison. I don't remember my parents ever fighting about which way to go, door frame or basement, in those few seconds of decision-making time. And the single biggest factor on their emotional regulation capabilities is the 3 pairs of eyes looking up at them, mine and my sister's, because they know that by remaining calm through their trauma, they can best protect or reduce our traumatic experience. I didn't realize it at the time, but that's when I learned that there's this really powerful connection between the 2,300-year-old Greco-Roman philosophy of Stoicism that's all about remaining composed under pressure, and empathy, the ability to connect with people on an emotional and intellectual level. It's really kind of amazing. It's a term I have called Stoic empathy, and it gives you the power and ability to utilize your empathic understanding of the situation around you in order to gain the very calm and composure you need in that moment. So now stay with me. We're going to fast forward. We're going to fast forward about 2 decades, 20 years, okay? And I'm fighting a very different kind of battle. This time I am a partner in a major American law firm leading a high-stakes piece of litigation. It's a few days before trial, and I find out that a member of my team has disclosed a privileged document to the other side by accident. What does that mean? They revealed a privileged document by accident to the other side. If you're a lawyer, this is a critical mistake, because it might mean that the judge could order privilege is waived, which would mean whatever confidential communications you had with your client should be shown to the other side, right? That would derail your entire strategy. It would be a complete disaster. So here's the thing. This isn't life or death. Right? There's no missile strikes. No one's kids are at risk. But the outcome mattered. It mattered to my client. It mattered to my career. It mattered to my team. A couple of jobs were on the line. I look around at my team, and there's 5 pairs of eyes looking up at me, waiting for guidance, but I have doubt. What if I fail? What if I let the team down? What if the client loses faith in us? It was real. We could be out millions of dollars of revenues a year. That meant layoffs, right? Again, it's not an existential threat. But where there's fear and doubt, anger or anxiety, the process of regaining calm, it's honestly not all that different. I look around the room, quiet my mind, and decide to focus my energy on what I can control. Empathy guided me to reassure my team, while stoicism gave me the strength to focus on solutions instead of problems. We quickly came up with a strategy, argued to maintain privilege, and after the first day of trial, the other side settled. The thing about Stoic empathy is it's really not about failing transparency or pretending there's no risk or refusing to understand the complexities, right? It's about in that moment of urgency, when everyone's eyes are heavy with exhaustion and anxiety, that you allow rationality, composure, and compassion to guide you instead of fear and panic. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about faking it. It's not about suppressing your emotions. It's not really even about being strong. It's about understanding the emotional weight of a moment, but being in control of it. And to really get Stoic empathy, we need to obviously look at both sides of it, right? The Stoicism and the empathy. So why don't we begin with the empathy side? What is it? What does it mean? Because empathy is a lot more than just being emotionally connected to someone else. Empathy is gaining the understanding that's necessary in order to be able to think strategically in a particular situation, right? It's actually kind of a spectrum, I've learned this in my work, between emotional connection and intellectual understanding, so that you can have this awareness, but modulate your emotional involvement depending on the circumstances. This way, you can be empowered with the understanding without getting emotionally overwhelmed, because empathy can be overwhelming. Sometimes it can completely collapse us. I actually think of it like a comforting flame. It can ignite warmth, connection, trust, but if left uncontrolled and unrestrained, it can also consume us. This is where Stoicism comes in. It's not about extinguishing the flame of empathy. Rather, it's about channeling it, like a furnace, into something productive, something that helps you and everyone else in the room. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy, is about understanding what we can and cannot control. What can we control? Our judgments, our thoughts, our emotions. So let me give you an example. Imagine you are a professional darts player, okay, darts, the game that you play at the bar, and you are at a competition, and you've got the dart in your hand, you're gripping it, and you eye your target and you aim, and the tip is sharp and the flight is straight, and you have perfected your release. Okay, after you release the dart, where it lands is no longer in your control. The reality is that there might have been a slight imperceptible imbalance in the dart, or a tiny little imperfection on the dartboard. Your dart could go awry even if you were perfect. So the lesson is, do what you can to prepare, of course. But once your dart is in the air, you must accept the outcome. So if you think of this in a relationship context, right? Try to think of a time when you were in the middle of a conversation that got really emotional or really heated. You can control how you listen, your body language, your tone. But once the words leave your mouth, just like that dart leaving your hand, their impact on the other person is not in your control, and it might not be what you intended. But all you can control is your preparation and your response. The thing is, with Stoic empathy, you can find both that control and with the emotional awareness, you can create a type of influence of those around you while releasing what it is that you cannot influence. And what's really incredible about Stoic empathy is you don't have to be a child huddled under a doorframe during missile strikes or a lawyer in a high-stakes piece of litigation. you can utilize this tool and use it to your advantage anytime, any place, whether you're protecting your kids, juggling a transaction, or just the other day, I swerved to avoid a car accident. This is available for you and at your disposal. The idea is, especially if you're a leader, is to take charge not only of your own tension, but also that of the room. Just like my parents controlled the fear in that basement all those years ago. I promise you, if you're looking for a transformative new tool, a new way to exercise control and influence over yourself and your life, take a look at Stoic empathy. It won't lead you awry.